Welcome back, knife lovers and Civivi fans. Yes, I got a new Civivi in the house today. It's fresh on the market. It's called the Teraxe. And there's a few things that make it very interesting. It's about a 3.5-inch blade, so it's a pretty good size. Got a little left over in my medium-large hand. What makes it interesting is it has a full steel frame, and it is a Framelock, is what I'm going to call it. There's all your typical characteristics of a Framelock. There's your relief to allow the frame to bend. There is, however, no hardened steel insert. Doesn't need to be one because we got steel on steel. Rather than on titanium knives, where you would have titanium on steel which can gall and stick, we have steel on steel. And the disengagement of this knife is quite nice, and it is virtually drop shut. Haven't oiled it. Did adjust the pivot just a tiny bit to make it just a little bit looser, but it is still centered right up. And we've got plenty of blade length for the handle. The ratio is very good. And what they did was give you, and it's going to be on the heavier side because we don't just have nested liners or anything like that. And the material is not titanium, it is steel. So that's going to weigh in, so to speak. It is both a thumb stud opener and a flipper. The flipper tab is fairly muted. Got jimping on the top and the front. Fires quite nicely. However, I noticed I was able to fail it. Yep. I followed through. If I don't follow through, see, I can fail it. But you really got to try to fail it. If you just go like that, it's going to fire every time. Thumb studs, same thing. Fire every time. Because it is a thumb stud opener, you've got the option of rolling it out, however. Nice jade natural G10 on this one. It does come in a few different color combos. When I give you the link out to White Mountain where you can get 10% off, I will give you all the models. So that discount code, by the way, is Old Sword, all one word. Get you 10% off. So while this is actually about $100 knife, as I recall, pricey for a Civivi, probably why they came out with the Send Cut line. And we're going to show you a Send Cut in a minute that I did a while ago, the Saxy. Very sexy, gotta say it. This has a beautiful bead blast finish all the way around. I kind of like that. It is really nice. And we've got a little bit of a finger choil there, which you could use. You'd need to be careful. I'm very suspicious of these that are small and you can only fit the side of your finger in. But, if you need to, you can sort of trigger finger that choil area. Got a swedge on top, and some viewers on a video I put out on Instagram and I think maybe on this channel of this knife ahead of this review said, well, this looks just like the Saxy, and we're going to find out in a minute if they're identical blades or not. But we've got a high grind, a high flat grind, a nice sharpened edge, even bevel, right out of the box, good workable, usable edge, and some nice, I would say, effective jimping. High mounted thumb stud, so it's not going to get too much in the way of the cutting path. And we do have a standoff on the back here that is a lanyard pin, smaller than the other two. Otherwise, wide open construction and no weight relieving. No weight relieving. Okay, breaking out the tape measure. Here we go. What do we got? Overall length of exactly 8 inches. Overall blade of exactly 3.5. I think they call it 3.48. Let's call it 3.5, shall we? In inches, fairly thin handle, 0.44. And let's go right up to the blade and get a inches measurement on that, 0.10, which works out to, in millimeters, 2.8. Now the all-important weight on this knife, to see what that steel frame is doing for us or to us. It is almost 5 ounces, 4.96. We're going to round that up. So, is it a pocket anchor? I don't think so. But you're going to feel the weight. You're going to feel the kind of that centralized dead weight. You know, there's just something about the feel of some knives. It's not too spread out. But at the same time, that's going to give you maybe a little more reinforcement and strength throughout the knife as far as giving it a little use and abuse, where you're not getting that with some other of the Civivi knives, which tend to be on the lighter side. So we were talking about the Sencut Saxi, which is a button lock. I happen to have it in the same handle color. So the Teraxe is a little bigger by about maybe ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch. Let's see, let's even them right up. About ½ an inch. And the blade, just about the same length. But here's the difference. So you can see what they did with the two blades. Let's hold them the same direction. I know somebody will tell me I should have done that. See if we can lock them together. So there you go. Got the Sencut Saxi on the bottom, and we got the Teraxe on the top. A little taller blade on the Teraxe. They both have finger choils. And it's just that this swedge comes a little further forward on a slightly narrower blade with a point on center, whereas we have more of a classic drop point with the Teraxe. And that's the difference, besides this one being a button lock and a little sticky. How about some other Civivi knives? The very well-known and popular Praxis. Had this one for a while. I don't know if they even still do that handle color. Maybe they do. That's a big wide blade. That's got a swedge that runs all the way down to the tip and almost completely on center. Then we've got the well-known riffle, the big finger hole. That one is going to be shorter than, nope, it's looking the wrong way. Same length. I know Civivi likes that 3.48. It must be coming in under certain legal limits somewhere. Liner lock, exposed liners on the riffle. Fidgety knife, easy open, flipper, and finger hole. Deep carry clip on this guy, if I didn't mention. Flush screws, but the clip riding on the surface and not inside or milled in. And it is switchable to the left side. One more comparison. Here is the Asticus, the knife with a funny name. And that is a good inch longer overall, with a blade about a ½ inch longer at least. What's the blade on the Asticus? We're going to call that like a 3.9. Very close to 4 inches. One of the largest Civivi knives. They're not doing large knives anymore, nor is the parent company We. So let's squeeze that in the middle there between the Praxis and the Asticus, the riffle, and the Saxi. If I got enough room to back out and show you all of them for size comparison. There you go. And we got kind of a perspective shift here, so the Saxi is going to look pretty small. Let's get these guys out of the way. Love the Praxis, by the way, as many of you do. Didn't mention the steel on the Teraxe, did I? Nitro V. Okay, so the Saxi was 9CR18 MOV. This is Nitro V, a steel that Civivi seems to be using quite a bit. I don't know if that contributes to the higher price or not. Here's a final comparison with the Griptilian. And the Griptilian's dead on, pretty much same size. With the narrower blades, we got a taller blade on the Teraxe, and much lighter knife with all this GRN on the Griptilian. Okay. Well, final look. Well, let's do a little final look around. Why not? Do some beauty shots here. I do like the bead blast and the jimping. Just the right amount of it, and it's grippy. Civivi logo. Minute. Barely see it. Nitro V right up in there in silver. And very little branding. So these companies are starting to see that we want the clips, we want deep carry, we want flush flat-headed screws, we want a transferable clip to the left side, and we like minimal branding. So there you go. That is the Civivi Teraxe. Hope you enjoyed this review. And as always, don't forget to give this video a like. That helps. And subscribing helps. Click that little icon in the lower right that you see right now, and you'll be brought to the subscribe page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back soon.